What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going over a Flygon control deck. This deck does not use any F-mark cards, so it will be legal next year. And if you're unfamiliar, a control deck is basically you're trying to keep your opponents from doing stuff, so it's really heavy on the disruption or the blocking with the walls. So let's just get started right away with the Pokemon here. We have a 2-2 for that Pidgeot EX. Free retreat as well as quick search is huge. So just getting what we need when we need it. You know how it is. Moving on, we do play one copy of Klefki, which has the mischievous lock ability. As long as this Pokemon is in the active, basic Pokemon have no abilities. So there's some of that locking down our opponent, trying to stop them from doing things. We also play one copy of Mimikyu with the safeguard ability, which is prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's EX or V. So moving on, this will just be Pokemon EX, but still, same concept, just putting up a wall that they can't hit through, forcing them to use boss's orders and such in order to just get a couple of knockouts, which hopefully we'll be able to revamp and not have to worry about it. Another card we have in here is Iron Thorns with initialization, which as long as this is in the active spot, Rule Box Pokemon have no abilities, so similar to Klefki, except Klefki is all basic, Iron Thorns is all Rule Box. So this is your EX, your V, your Radiant, those are all examples of Rule Box Pokemon. We also have one copy of Fezandipiti, so if something of ours gets knocked out, baby Pokemon, Klefki, Mimikyu, little Pidgey, maybe one of our Trapinch, just something gets knocked out, let's just draw 3, really useful. We do run a 2-2. Of Trapinch and Flygon EX. This is going to be our main attacker for the deck, using only the reversing storm attack, which deals 130 damage, and you can switch it with one of your benched Pokemon. The reason this is so important is because you can either retreat or switch into your Flygon, use that reversing storm, hit them for 130, and then switch into one of your disruption or wall Pokemon. And that's where the control aspect comes from. So basically swinging in, hitting them hard, and then going and running away effectively. And it does have 310 hit points, which is pretty tanky as is. Since we do just do the 2-2 and we don't have the Vibrava in here, we do need rare candies to get it out. As a backup attacker, late in the game, things aren't looking too good. Our control is getting ran through. We have Bloodmoon Ursaluna in here. Like I've said in other videos, just very versatile card, can go really in any deck that needs a backup attacker, and it fits the tag in here. Moving on, we do have, as our last Pokemon, one copy of Cornerstone Ogerpon EX for its Cornerstone stance, which is prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by the attacks of Pokemon with an ability. So we got a pretty expansive wall. Nothing with an ability can attack Cornerstone, nothing with a rule box, well, EX and V can't attack Mimikyu, Rule Box Pokemon don't have abilities, and basic Pokemon don't have abilities. So very versatile. Whatever deck we're coming up against, we should be able to lock them down and hopefully carry on some wins just by tapping for 130 and bouncing back. So these games are going to be longer, in tournaments you might be racing the clock a little bit here, but yeah, it's an interesting deck and it definitely takes some thinking. I am new to control decks, so took me a little while to iron out this list, and I'm sure there are still some ways that it can be improved just because of my lack of experience with control decks, but it's lots of fun, I'd say. For trainers, we do have one copy of Cyrano. Search your deck for 3 Pokemon EX. More times than not, this is going to be your Flygons, and then maybe some control, grab Pidgeot. There's just so many options that Cyrano actually does work very well in this deck, as opposed to like a Jacques, which is just 2 evolution Pokemon, as all our EX here are evolution. We do have one copy of Future Booster Energy Capsule. This is so we can give that Iron Thorns free retreat. So we can free retreat, attack with Reversing Storm, bounce it back to the bench, Iron Thorns in the active, and then if he survives, we can just free retreat. Hopefully we can get a few turns off of that. Very useful. 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Just finding our Pokemon as we need them. More times than not, this is going to be your Flygon. Because, you got the Trapinch down, rare candy in hand, etc., etc. Throw down an Ultra Ball, discarding whatever, and there you go. You got your Flygon ready to start attacking. A little more on the disruption side. Pokemon League Headquarters. Attacks used by basic Pokemon in play cost 1 more. So this is making everything your opponent does more expensive if they're playing with basic Pokemon. And since we only ever attacked with Flygon in this deck, or Bloodmoon or Ursaluna, this can be really, really disruptive for our opponent and not hurt us very much, because we're not really attacking with the other Pokemon, we're just retreating them into Flygon. Then we have 1 copy Tera Orb. This can only target our Ogerpon or our Flygon, but just another search option. Don't know this name, but this supporter, great for disruption. Discards until they have 3 cards in hand. This can be really good against decks that need to draw a lot, or that or like decks that just do draw a lot, like Goldangos and such. Just by limiting your opponent's hand size when they have tons of cards in hand, or if they had to search for something and you know they have things that are useful, you can use this to limit their options in a turn, basically. So, very nice card to have in here. 1 copy Night Stretcher. We can use this for an energy, but more times than not, we're using this for a disruption Pokemon, you know. Say, we won't have to worry about canceling Clone in the future, but as for right now, say our opponent only has EX and V Pokemon, and they use a canceling Clone to knock out our Mimikyu. Well, instead, say if they can attack around everything else, we can use that Night Stretcher, get Mimikyu back, and then they're just banging their head against the wall all over again. And that goes with any of our wall Pokemon. You know, if they only have things that use abilities and they got that, we can bring back our Cornerstone, etc., etc. 2 copies of Rescue Board. This is because we want to be able to retreat whatever our wall is, so that we can get our Flygon back in the active so it can attack and bounce. So having the Rescue Boards lets us bounce anything. You know, if we have Ogerpon up there, Klefki or Mimikyu, making that 1 less retreat cost allows us to just keep bouncing. Oops, excuse me. Let's just keep bouncing back and forth. 1 copy of Pal Pad. This is getting our supporters back. This is getting this guy back for a little extra disruption. This can get a Penny back if we need to find some Penny and Turo. And just it just adds a little bit to this deck. I feel like we have enough supporters in here and enough one-offs of supporters that more times than not, it will not hurt us to grab a Pal Pad. So more times than not, we can use this as a discard, but very useful. 1 copy of Penny. This picks up a basic Pokemon and everything attached to it. So say you have been using your Thorns as a wall, they're locking you down, or you're locking them down, but they are able to just get a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there, and your Thorns is getting pretty weak. You can use your Penny, pick it up, and then play it back to the bench, attack with your Flygon, and they're back to square one. And that holds true for any of your Pokemon. If they're whittling it down, you can just pick it up and throw it back down. Also, another thing that works is Fezandipiti. Oh, never mind, sorry, you can't use more than 1 flip the script. Brand was in a different place there. But yeah, so if they're whittling something down, getting it low on HP, you can just pick it up and play it back right away. 4 copies of Nest Ball. This is, everything in here. Most of it can be searched with Buddy Buddy Poffin, but a lot of your backup attacker, your Fez, your Ogerpon, and your Iron Thorns, so 2 of your wall Pokemon, do need to be found with Nest Balls, so we do have 4 copies of those to make sure we're getting them when we need to. We do have a Daisy's Help in here. This is because we do play a lot of one-off Pokemon in this deck, and since Hisuian Heavy Ball is F-Mark, we want to be able to see our prize cards, because if something is prized, then as soon as we get a knockout, we'll know which one it is, so we can pick that up right away. Also, we get to draw 2 cards, so might open up some new opportunities within the turn there. 1 copy Boss's Orders, just smacking what we need when we need, pretty typical. 2 copies Iono, great hand reset, the usual, Professor Turo Scenario works the same as Penny, except it can be any Pokemon, it doesn't have to be basic, and you discard the cards attached to that. So if they're whittling down on your Pidgeot and you don't want them to take the prize cards, if they're whittling down on your Flygon and you don't want to take the prize cards, etc., etc., you can just use that Turo, or you can use it on your basic Pokemon if you have to. Same situation, but you don't have Penny in hand. You can use your Turo on any Pokemon, which is nice. 4 copies of Arven. Finding our tools, which more times than not is going to be those rescue boards and the Future Capsule. And then item cards, so getting our rare candies and such for getting our Flygons in play. 2 copies of Beach Court, giving basic Pokemon 1 less retreat, so we don't have to rely entirely on those rescue boards. And so Beach Court's just another option to give our stuff free retreat to bounce it back and forth. 1 copy of Devolution. You know, say we're having a hard time getting our Flygon going and they're starting to work up. They maybe used some rare candies for some stuff. You can pop that TM Devo, you know, attach an energy to something else, and just, again, disrupt your opponent to give you more opportunity to either set up or get further ahead. 1 copy Colress. The energy card is nice, because we do only play 5 energy in this deck. But also the stadiums, you know, we can grab our Beach Court off of that, or we can grab our Pokemon League headquarters off of that, just to add a little help when we need it, you know. Say we don't have Arven in hand, and we need to retreat our Pokemon. Well, we just grab the Beach Court, retreat it, and push forward what's next. Moving on, we do have 1 copy of Airy in here, which is, again, just a disruptive supporter. Your opponent reveals their hand and discard up to 2 item cards you find there. This can be great for getting rid of things like Rare Candy and Nest Balls, and other item cards that could be pivotal in their following turn. 3 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin. I did it again. Finding our Trapinch, finding our Mimikyu, Klefki, and Pidgey. These are all super important cards in this deck, and Buddy Buddy Poffin is going to get us there. So, really nice card to have in here. 1 copy of Switch. The reason we only play 1 copy is because between the Beach Courts and the Rescue Boards, we have enough ways to bounce our Pokemon, and the Turos and the Pennies, which can also be used to get a Pokemon out of the active if you can't retreat it for whatever reason. Just having all those other options, we do only really need 1 Switch in this deck. So, nice to have in here for certain situations, like say your opponent used an attack that says the defending Pokemon cannot retreat next turn. You can switch it out or pick it up with Turo or Penny. Our A-Spec for the deck is going to be Sparkling Crystal. This one can be used, I forget the name of it, but the Energy A-Spec, not Legacy, but, let me get a refresher. Not Enriching. Oh my, wait, do I not own it? Neo Upper. A lot of people play Neo Upper so that they can access Flygon's second attack, which deals 100 damage to 2 of your opponent's, 100 damage to each of your opponent's EX Pokemon. I think it's EX or V. Yeah, 100 damage to each of your opponent's EX or V. But really, I feel like 100 damage isn't that much. Sure, it adds up and you can get lots of prize cards in 1 turn. But I feel like I enjoy playing the Sparkling Crystal more, because then you can Arven for it and get an attack going right away, because again, Flygon does only cost 1 energy to attack. So being able to Arven for your energy also works pretty well, because then you don't need to find an Earthen Vessel to get that energy. You can use it to find, say, Rare Candy and Sparkling Crystal, Rare Candy or Trapinch, etc., etc. You know how it goes. 4 copies Rare Candy. This is because our Flygons and our Pidgeots are Stage 2s that don't have their Stage 1s in the deck. So we're, of course, wanting to Rare Candy those out as soon as possible. And just getting our quick searches going, getting our attacks going, and really making things move along quickly here. And then 1 copy Earthen Vessel. This is, again, we only play 5 energy in this deck, so being able to search it out can be important at times. Say our Sparkling Crystal is prized. You can find this with our Arven or something and get things going right from there. And then, of course, 5 basic fighting energy just for that Reversing Storm Trapinch attack. We are able to use Demolish, Cruel Arrow, and Blustery Wind, but we're probably never going to use those. We're going to be sticking to that Reversing Storm as much as possible. And that's the whole list. That's the 60. So, as you can see, there's quite a few disruption cards in here. And, yeah, I'd say it's quite some fun to play. A little hard to pilot, but that's just because I don't have much experience with control decks. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into some playtests here, and you guys can see what this can do. Alright, so we're going ahead and hopping into this playtest here for the Flygon control deck. I feel like we're going to want to go first most of the time, because then we can stick something disruptive in the active right away, hopefully. You know, maybe like a Thorns. And also then we're going to have the option to evolve our Trapinch and our Pidgey as fast as possible. So our opponent is deciding. They don't seem like they know what they want. Could be a good sign for us. Alright, so they are taking first. So not ideal, but it does give us the option. Yeah, we're just going to throw Klefki up there. Hopefully that'll slow them down a little bit. Maybe if they're playing Raging Bolt, they're not going to be able to... if they're playing Raging Bolt, they won't be able to use that Teal Mask, or really if they're playing anything that uses Teal Mask, like Regidrago. I feel like that's the most prominent thing Klefki does, is in those matchups. Okay. Now, this isn't really a donk deck, so unfortunately we don't get much out of that pass right there. What do we have? We got Klefki down. Trapinch. Okay. Grab Fez. I feel like this is going to be Charizard, but it could be a million different things. So I think we're going to go there. Maybe. Yeah. You grab that Nest Ball. We want a Pidgey down. Another Nest Ball. We have the Flygon. I mean, we could grab second Trapinch in case he somehow gets knocked out here. I think we are going to grab the second Trapinch. We could have gone Mimikyu, but I'd rather not. Vessel dumping the Night Stretcher for 2 on Izar. Okay, so Sparkling Crystal is prized, so our energy is all we have to work with right now. So we kind of want to be a little careful on that. We're going to go there. Yeah. I think we're going to pass with that. Probably... I could have put Thorns down in case they get knocked out on Klefki here, just to promote right away. But I'm kind of hoping that our Fez finds us some way to get into Rare Candy. Okay, Bug Catching Set. What are you playing? Bug Catching Set with Pidgey. I don't know. Do some Regidrago decks play Pidgey? I don't even know. Did he just call for family here? Oh wow, okay. I was actually kind of hoping he would get knockout so we could use Fez, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. Not just drawing Pokemon. Ooh, so he doesn't have much in hand to begin with. But I mean, we're not drawing any cards, so might as well. See what goes on here. See, he had one... I feel like he already had one grass in hand, and he was Bug Catching Set hoping for a Teal Mask. So, hopefully this will prevent him from using Teal Dance next turn, but unless he's planning on keeping that one. Yeah, so I think he had a lot of setup cards. He probably had a Xatu in hand, maybe a Clump of Energy. He's got to use the Thinker here. Yeah, and right now we're just waiting on a Rare Candy. So we have 4 of them. We have 4 Arvens in the deck. We shouldn't have a terrible time finding our Rare Candies, but we also have 2 Ionos. Okay, Defiance Band. Just seeing this, I feel like I want to say Char, but it's obviously not, and we don't even get to find out. I'm curious what his list was. Yeah, just Pidgey. Okay, well, that was quick. the disruption, he didn't have good setup to begin with, and the disruption was too much. So I think we can go ahead and hop into another game, if I'm being honest. That was not very long. And I feel like more times than not, our games are going to end in concessions. I don't know what the proper word for that is. Just because this deck, it takes very long to play against, and it is very annoying to play against. Like I said, we do want to go first more times than not. Probably a Charizard deck. He's got the sleeves for it. We do mulligan here. It's a shame. It would have been a really nice hand if we had something, but oh well. Suppose it could be Arcanine or something, but it's probably Charizard. With just one mulligan. Doesn't reveal much about the deck to them. Doesn't really matter. Horse apiece there. We're just gonna do that for now. See what comes of it. Got a hit done, buddy. Alright, yeah, it's gonna be Charizard. This is interesting. I mean, sure, he's not gonna hit for that much turn one, so we're just gonna attach and pass here. So, not the greatest hand. That starting hand would have been really nice if we had a basic, but this is what we're stuck with. So we do have some stall, but unfortunately we do have to wait quite some time to get some draw power going here. Yep, there's the Charmanders. I'm a big fan of not putting sleeves that tell your opponent what your deck is. So either I do some kind of like flashy sleeves that don't really reveal information, or I'll just do like I don't put sleeves on decks really in TCG Live. But yeah, in real life I'll do I won't do like if I'm playing a Miraidon deck, I'm not gonna play sleeves with a lightning bolt on it or something like that, you know. I do things. I just do standard sleeves. If you grabbing off the Arven. Prime Catcher and Evo. Okay. So he plays Prime Catcher, not Unfair Stamp. He has nothing to Prime Catcher for right now. Giving himself that switch option / boss option is going to be kind of nice for him, but yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Since he's using Ultra Ball, unless he grabs a basic, you know, he used Arven, he used Ultra Ball. So if we top deck Iono here, it could be really good because that'll shuffle that Char to the bottom of his deck. And there's a chance that he draws another one, but Trapinch. Okay. We're gonna throw those guys down then. And yeah, I think we're going to not affected by weakness. That does 160. It can't be attacked with ability, so yeah, we are gonna attach there. These guys can't die to Charizard, so that's really nice. So our opponent is probably not going to be very happy. I would have loved to have a Cornerstone here. Or not Cornerstone, sorry. Iron Thorns here in the active, because then our opponent wouldn't be able to... Okay, yep, Quick Search. Then he wouldn't be able to use Quick Search, and he wouldn't be able to get energy when he evolved, so... Thorns in the active is really nice early turns against Charizard, but I like having the Cornerstone and the Mimikyu down because they just can't get hit. So So, depending on our top deck this next turn, we're gonna kind of see what happens. Yep, he's gonna rare candy that, get the energy. So, we could, if our top deck is completely useless, you know, if it's an energy, we might end up bossing to stall, or to try and stall. I don't know what all he has in hand. All I know is he can quick search once per turn, so. Okay, so that's not, the stall won't help us at all. Boss for stall is useless. Now the question is, does he want to go for, is he going to put energy on his Pidgeot? Have that as a backup? He is. So he's probably just going to go and, yeah. He still can't attack because they're both EX and they're both abilities. The only thing he can hit here is our Trapinch. So, yeah, he's going to boss our Trapinch. So that does suck for us. Slows us down. Okay, he's an idiot. Why would he do that? I mean, he has Prime Catcher in hand. That his last card is a Prime Catcher. Yeah. Now he's grabbing the Trapinch. I don't know why he burned his boss like that. Unless he plans on Pidgeotting for a Professor's Research next turn, would be my best guess, but... So I'm honestly thinking that we're just going to start charging up that Demolish. We need 1 energy as well as our Crystal, and yeah, I think we're just going to power up Demolish here. Because we really have no reason to do anything else. I kind of want to boss that Pidgeot up, because if we can get rid of his quick searching, that would be lovely, but I don't think it's going to make much a difference. Yeah, we're going to hold the boss. Maybe we can take out some baby Pokemon along the line. So he's got 2 cards in hand and a quick search. Yep, there's the research. So getting that research, he either got it off top deck or prizes, so really lucky for him there, but I don't think we're going to have an issue here. Because he has to find something that can attack into Ogerpon. Those aren't going to help him. Unless he has the 151 Charizard in here. But that's going to take him a while to get energy on, because he already used both of his Infernal Rains from these Charizards. We'll see. I believe that one has also 330 HP and can knock us out. Moltres, that still has an ability. Yeah, discard 2, attack 2. So, I don't... Yeah, he'll be able to hit our Mimikyu off that Moltres attack, but that's really all he can do. We could Arven to keep setting up, but I think we're actually going to boss Moltres so we can keep Mimikyu like in the loop here. Because right now he has no options. He has nothing he can do. So we do get a Nest Ball. We can grab some setup. Start trying to get set up. I don't know how many more bosses he had. He used the boss and his Prime Catcher. And we're probably going to see him concede in a few turns here, unless he has some answer for these cards. He's probably playing the 151 Charizard, because otherwise he would have conceded by now, I feel like. Unless he's just clinging on to hope. Charmeleon also has an ability, so can't be touched by Ogerpon. Or can't get touched by Ogerpon. Another research, dumping 2 Ionos and a rare candy. I'm curious what his plan is. He has 13 cards left in deck. Is he hoping that he can just flat me to death? Sorry, buddy, that's not gonna work. I can respond a little bit faster than you. he's thinking real hard. So, yeah, I think he's going to retreat and go for the flap. Yep. He's just trying to get some damage on the board. He's clinging on to hope, but there's really nothing he can do. I mean, this deck is totally locking down Charizard completely. Very few decks do run the 151 Charizard, so this is a great example of one of those matchups. Sure, we'll do this. Why not? Grab that just in case. We could grab Trapinch. We have rare candies in hand. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Because then we'll be able to attack faster. Grab that. Actually, we'll grab Tera Orb, so we don't have to discard. And, I don't know what to do about the energy. We'll just grab a Rescue Board for now. It's really not that important. We're probably just going to keep attacking with Demolish. Oh, I should have grabbed... Oh well, whatever. I should have grabbed Ultra Ball there. That way I would have been able to find Pidgeot, or sorry, Pidgeotto. No, yeah, Pidgeot, excuse me. But honestly, it doesn't matter, because I was just setting that up to try and expedite this process. This very long, grueling process. So I said that we probably wouldn't be using Trapinch or Cornerstone's attack very often, but I mean, why not? You know? Because he has to attack, he has to kill everything on our board to get his 5 prizes right now. And if you can't tell by his 11 and our 39, he's going to deck out quick. What is he grabbing? Because I think Pidgeot, or Pidgeotto, is the only card in his deck that can attack Cornerstone. Which rings true for a lot of Charizard decks. You know, the best you can do in this situation is run at least a Mew in your deck, because then you can copy the Demolish, which isn't affected by effects on your opponent's active. So Mew is able to attack around walls. Same is true, like Mimikyu puts 7 damage counters, doesn't deal 70 damage. So, yeah. So Mew is like the only option to attack around walls in matchups like this, but I don't think he has one, otherwise he wouldn't still be digging. Now the question is he going to run out of time first or cards in deck? Because like I said, we're probably not going to draw our 6 prize cards like with this deck. It really is a control decks more times than not. You are trying to deck your opponent out. I just like this Flygon list in particular because that 160 damage can actually add up over time and you're able to get those knockouts. Part of me wants to start playing this with Neo Upper just so we can expedite the process. You know, 100 damage per turn is pretty good. The only thing with that is you don't get to switch your Pidgeot, or oh my goodness, your Flygon. You're not switching your Flygon at all. You're just finding the put that on there. We'll hold the other one in case he tries to stall. Oh no, it's 130, not 160. Not sure why I had 160 in my head. Oh well. Regardless. That wouldn't expedite the process because we're dealing 140. Whoopsies. Anyway, as I was saying, playing Neo Upper could definitely be the better option. I just like having the Sparkling Crystal because then I only feel the need to run 5 energy, and being able to use that as the tool we look for with Arven can also be really good. So I suppose you could play a counter gain, but then you would have to be behind, and counter gain wouldn't help your Flygon at all. See, he has no energy, so he's probably, yeah, he's trying to boss to stall here. Unless he's gonna switch and go for the one prize card. How scary. Yep, your opponent can see. There we go. So he finally gave in, finally realized there's no way that he can win this matchup unless I play a bunch of stuff on my bench that he can knock out for easy prizes, but we kind of started doing that just to try and expedite the process, but I only played enough that he still wouldn't be able to get the knockout. He still wouldn't be able to get his 6 prizes. And yeah, there's your Flygon control deck. I really like this list. Make whatever changes you see fit, as with any deck, but yeah, my only recommendations that I kind of have out there is playing that Neo upper as your A spec. Again, yeah, providing 1 to any Pokemon, but if it's a stage 2, which your Flygon is gonna be, it's 2 energy and any at a time. So yeah, 41 trainers, 14 Pokemon, and only 5 energy, but it still works very well. So thank you all for watching. There's Flygon control for you, and have a lovely day. Make sure you comment down below what decks you guys want to see next, subscribe, and like the video.